Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy. And hopefully, you guys have had a pretty good sales week. I can tell you that our sales have been pretty good, pretty solid. Really, no bad day at all this week so far. Knock on particle board. And I think that we're starting to make the transition here. A lot of people that are talking about their sales are sort of coming up a little bit, from like a lull in June, maybe the beginning part of July. So let's hope that's the case here. Want to know what you think. And please, if you're watching with us live today, put your comments in the chat and your questions, and either myself, maybe Jenna, or someone else can answer whatever you're asking. If you're not able to make it with us today, of course, too bad you couldn't make it, but please comment down below nonetheless. And, you can ask your questions. I do try to get to as many comments as I can. As the channel grows, we get more and more comments on the video. So it's not always possible to get the comments in a timely manner, but I do try. And before we begin, I just want to kind of say thank you to a couple of our sponsors of the channel. One is GyroPack. They provide bubble mailers, and they provide the poly mailers that we use. And I think many of you guys have tried them as well. I haven't heard one complaint yet about GyroPack.
Because they're the best.
Well, they're just quality stuff.
They are.
You get 10% off using the link down below. And if the link is down below, I'm not sure it is, but once it gets down below, and that just shows you I was scrambling to get ready for this live stream. And sometimes when you're doing these lives and you're trying to make the whole business of eBay work, unfortunately, the live streams don't get set up the way they need to. So I'm adding that right now as we speak. The other sponsor is Bubble Boy. They make great tape, really good stuff, and of course, just the convenience of having your stuff mailed to you, free 2-day delivery, really good prices in my opinion. I used to buy my stuff at Office Depot and have to make the trek a couple miles each way. It's just kind of a pain. And I'm finding myself that it's really pretty good quality stuff, and as much bubble wrap as we use on a daily basis, we're probably ordering it like once every 2 weeks, that type of thing. So the links are down below. Give them a check out if you're interested in either one of those things. So the topic at hand is pretty much that I think every seller really needs to come to the realization that there's going to be a lot of bugs, and maybe even more than we've seen along the way. There's implementations being made to the site currently, and we don't know how long that's going to happen. And every little thing that they tweak seems to hurt something else, seems to break something else. And, I guess I just don't understand why, they can't fix the things that they promised. I keep saying this, the whole idea of at least get our payments in on items. I constantly have like 3 or 4 items that I can't even, sell because people aren't being made to pay. They're just buying it. Who knows? They're finding another price. They're not even bothering to reach out to me. It's annoying. It's part of the business, but it doesn't have to be that way. Hearing a lot of people that are showing things that in their history that they never even looked up. Just kind of weird. I haven't had that experience. A lot of search problems. And I'm sure there's a lot more going on in the background. And this is the magical innovations that eBay is giving us. And then they give us this sham of AI, which really is nothing more than just using your own words and putting some fluffy words around them to make an item description. So, and I hope that AI is much better than that when eBay implements that going forward. And they're talking about implementing AI in their search. And that's a scary thought, and I think it almost seems like they may have tried that and maybe they haven't announced it. Remember when we were getting different search words? So if you listed a word and maybe a different word came up that was similar, they searched for that word instead of the actual word you typed in. And it almost seems that was their first go at trying to implement AI. So that's another thing. And then also you have to realize your buyers, eBay is looking at your buyers in three different tiers. You have your high value buyers, and that's the folks that basically spend over $800 a year on eBay, right? Your mid value buyers, the ones that spend from $200 to $800 a year, and then your low value buyers, and that's the folks that basically spend under $200 in a year. Now, this is all according to eBay. Okay, this is their whole visualization for how they want the company to go. From they're focusing a lot on these high value buyers who are like your watches, your baseball cards, your I believe high end purses. You have eBay Motors is kind of thrown in there a little bit, but it's those people that they believe that are spending in those categories, and then they're kind of spending extra money away from those categories. Now, if eBay is categorizing buyers, high end, mid, and low, what do you think they're doing to sellers? I really think that eBay is behind the scenes weeding out the low end sellers, guys. It doesn't make them as much money as the mid to the high end. That's just my belief. Why would eBay categorize the buyers and not the sellers? It just doesn't make sense. So for me, it is a good idea and a lot of people that I've been watching videos on YouTube for eBay have been talking about transitioning over to higher ASP stuff. And I can tell you I'm sold on it because it just works, guys. So something to consider going forward. But just know, and maybe you can only categorize yourself. Are you a high end? Are you a mid? Or are you a low end seller in the eyes of eBay? Now, what numbers are attached to those monikers? I don't know. I would happen to think that maybe your high end are probably like 200 plus thousand a year at least in sales. Your mids are probably 50,000 to 200,000 in sales, and your low ends are probably anything under 50,000 in sales. So that's just my guess. That's not an eBay number, but if I had to throw out, a number to categorize the three different tiers of sellers, it would be somewhere close to that. So where do you rank in that equation, and what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue and I know some of you guys are part-time. So what are you going to continue to do what you do? Or are you going to maybe look at finding different things to sell? It's kind of what I've been talking about this whole time. And I wouldn't tell you guys to do something that I just really haven't seen work myself. It's saved us a lot. I could tell you a lot of headache, a lot of things. You guys don't even know. Archie put out a video like this last week telling people, hey, if your sales are slow, here's some ways to get some money doing gig work. And guess what? Late last year, early this year, before we made this change, we were doing some gig work, guys. We were going out making a couple extra $100 a day, driving around in this, Vegas area, delivering food to people. And, we had to because our sales were that bad. So, it is a struggle for some, but it doesn't have to be that way. The answer is out there somewhere, and hopefully, either myself or another channel can help you guys get to that answer, but we're trying to help as many people as we can. So let's see who we have here today. We have PTS Treasures with us today. Brian H says, hello, John and Jen and everyone. Thanks for being here, Brian. Julian Anderson's here, says hello. We do have Picky Ricky here in the house. I think I'm keeping my home. I hope you're keeping your home. Want to know more about that?
I think there was a question in which he may not be keeping his home there for a little while.
Yeah, I didn't see anything above that they were talking. Biscuit Butt says, what's up, FAE fam? Thanks for being here, Archie. Picky Ricky says 600, but will now be 900 a month. I'm going to need to crank eBay up at a time everyone's broke. Well, a lot of people are broke. That doesn't mean everyone's broke. You have a lot of people that just don't have the same amount of, discretionary funds to sit back and, spend on certain things that they could have spent even a year ago, 2 years ago. And it's the challenge of trying to find things that people need. And I think I was talking about this in December of 2021 that, we're going to have to start transitioning over to that. And while I had an idea of what that was at the time, I didn't quite understand it the way I did, the way I understand it now. And, the change that sort of I made that opened my eyes back in February. But what that changes for you, I mean, you're going to have to figure that out based on what you have available to you in your area. There's a lot of people that, post that, I'm in a rural area, and I can't even say that word, I apologize, but I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I just don't have the same kind of resources that you do or other people do. And I get that, but it still doesn't mean that you can't find that something. And it's a challenge. It's not going to be easy. No one ever said that this road is ever easy. In fact, if you look behind me, I have a sign that says otherwise. And then PTS Treasure says you can do it. I think you can, Picky Ricky. Just got to put your mind to it and put your effort to it at the same time, and you'll figure it out. I think you will. Let's see. What else we have here? We have Maya. Maya Kayama says, hey, everyone. I won't be on too long as I have to leave for work in about a half an hour. Yeah. Well, thanks for at least hanging out with us. I know.
Checking in.
Yeah. That time before you get ready to go to work is sort of a valuable time. It's usually the time you kind of want to unwind and just relax. And the fact that you're kind of hanging out with us today is really cool. PTS says, I finally started picking up today. Thank the reseller gods. I picked up 40 plus items. Before I went, I had to rearrange to make even more room. In the process, we found another tub of shoes, a big tub of shoes, lots of clothes.
Happy about it.
And I guess you can officially call that my death pile. It's things that are there. And I guess they become death piles because you simply find better things to list during that time, right? So it's more of an emergency pile. And for me, I think, I can get to it and just knock these out, right? But why would I do that if I'm making a lot of money with the stuff that I have that I just picked up? So I don't know how we got to that transition, but I just had that thought in my mind.
I don't know how we get to half the things we
I like to do that. It's fun. Picky Ricky says, I turned down an offer on a pair of Hugo Boss jeans earlier simply because he has never left any feedback ever. So I guess you're going to pick up a pair of jeans, but because of the feedback, you didn't. Maya says, what is helping my sales is going through my death pile. See, I knew she was going to get to that. I stain treated a bunch of my items, and some of them sold right away off after I listed them. Yeah. Sometimes I think people want the easy list, right? Where it's already, wrinkle-free, new with tags, real easy. You don't have to deal with it. But, maybe you pick up something that has value, needs to be washed, and some people just don't want to bother with it, that type of thing. I can tell you cleaning things is certainly in my process. And it does take, that's why I can't list a ton of items in an hour, because my process is just so involved with, and there's some people who won't even bother cleaning their stuff, right? Just throw it up for sale. But I think you're losing a lot of value if you don't. Mm-hmm. Jackie's in the house. Hello, everyone. I'm listing more Christmas decorations ornaments today. Sold 10 last week.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Now's the time, guys. If you have it, maybe you've been sitting on like Halloween stuff, get that stuff up, and Christmas, because if you have good stuff, that stuff's not going to last. Yeah. And people are going to grab it if you have good prices. Flippin' Con Marco says, hey, John and Jenna and the rest of the FAE family. Hope everyone has had a productive week, made a few sales this week. That's what we're talking about. Got to get those sales. And then we have Daniel Lesage from Baton Rouge. Says, hey, guys, my best to all. Have a great and productive weekend. Yes. Yes. Anybody doing yard sales? We don't do yard sales in the summer because out here in Vegas, they're just so hot that there's only about, for the entire valley, there's about 10 to 12. Last weekend there was 11, and one was just a big blown up estate sale from another YouTube channel. So
a famous
YouTuber, right? I'll never get to that level. Flippin' Con Marco says, speaking of Texas Instruments calculators, I almost fought someone at the pins over a stack of them. I got them first and they snatched them off my hands. Wow.
See, that's another reason I don't like the bins.
Yeah.
There's many reasons, but that's just one of them.
So how did that work out? You almost got into a fight, but I'm assuming that you ended up getting them, right? The bin's just horrible. You can grab a pair of shoes and someone grabs the other shoe and then you guys are like at an impasse.
Like a war.
Yeah. Maya says, wow, yeah, I think it's the same ones, the graphing calculators we used when I was in high school. I think they still hold their value. Some do, some don't. It took me forever. I had some brand new calculators that I picked up really cheap, and I think I got them in a pallet maybe a year and a half ago, and it took me a year just to move all. I had to finally lot them all in 10, and I didn't get much for all 10, that's for sure.
Okay, pause. This is my tumbler. It's 30 ounces, and it's not that tall.
What is it?
No one designed it. It's like,
oh no.
My God, we can't even see the bottom of it. It's like life size.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, our buddy Mike Camparelli's in the house. Hi, John and Jenna and FAE family. I have been concentrating on raising my ASP this week by listing my more valuable items and purging my $5 to $10 items. It's working, more sales and way more net profit. And that's what I'm saying, guys. I list probably 5 to 10 items in a day. It's not a lot, right? But yet I'm churning out on average between $400 and $600 in sales. I mean, I posted my numbers earlier this week. I think there's some folks out there who just, for whatever reason, just couldn't believe that I'm able to maintain that type of sale activity with such a small store. But it's focusing on getting rid of the smaller ASP items, and I still have them in the store. The idea is that I'm not going to replace those small ASP items with small ASP items once they sell. Those are being phased out of my store. And I thought about maybe taking those and moving my store down to about 125 items and then pushing those items to our secondary store, relisting them that way. But you know what? I figure, why mess with something that's not broken? I mean, what we have right now in the main store is working fine.
Hot Desert Deals can't take any more attacks. I mean, it's
pretty sad.
It's pretty sad.
But, you know, I keep that store afloat for a couple of reasons. A, we still have some of the merchandise that, you know, eventually it'll sell. And you know, even though we only get maybe 1 to 2 sales a day on that account. But
if
also,
we're lucky.
If I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't keep it. And the reason is I do a lot of experiments with things on that. Like if someone says, hey, stop promoting and see what happens. Well, then I'll go to that account, stop promoting, see what happens. Which, by the way, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Yeah. Absolutely nada.
So I keep that sort of as a testing ground at the same time, you know. So I think at some point it's going to be a store that we close. You're only paying like $20 a month with the store fees, and you know, just focus on what's the bread and butter and what's making money, and that's the higher ASP stuff that we're dealing with right now. So good stuff, Mike. Glad that it's picking up for you. Maya says, on the subject of the live title, the past week I had 2 items that were almost canceled where the buyer swore they already paid. When I sent them a message, they realized and went back to pay. Well, you know, with that might be a buyer error. They could have thought, well, you know what, I bought multiple things.
Yeah, but how would you know? You just don't know if it's the site.
You don't.
Or if it's the buyer. There's no way to know.
You don't. And the buyer could have actually gone through the whole process to pay, and maybe they thought they paid and there was a problem with the site and they didn't pay. And so by you having a conversation with the buyer, they went back and looked and said, oh crap, it's not paid for. That's not good. But eBay is not going to share that with us. You know, if you didn't have a conversation with your buyer, you wouldn't have known that they had an issue. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's a glitch with the pre-selected payment methods. They were both offers sent to watchers. Well, I'm convinced that doesn't work all the time. And I don't even know if that's going to be implemented across for every buyer, because that is okay. Every buyer is different. eBay is selecting certain buyers to pay ahead of time versus other buyers who do not. And I know there's some sellers who don't even want that. They'd rather not. And I get it. If you have a niche where I have a lot of things, it's kind of like the patches I was selling last year about this time. You know, we'd have a lot of different buyers, and some of the same buyers, a lot of repeat buyers, and they do a lot of shopping. They pick up a couple things here. I post some more stuff. They pick up those kind of things. They want them all bundled together. I get it. If you make people pay, of course, eBay is going to make you ship it out right away and not wait. You can't wait. If you have 1 day shipping set up, right, or same day, well, you can't, once they pay, you can't wait 3 days to ship that item while that person's waiting for that auction to end. You have to go in and ship that out. And so I get why there's a lot of people who don't necessarily want the pre-selected payment method in place. And you can opt out of that. You can go in and opt out in your settings if you want to. Let's see. Maya says, overall, I had one item canceled due to no response. Everyone else paid after I sent out a message. Yeah, the unpaid messages. And the best way to do that, guys, is if you're wanting to send a reminder to your buyer to pay, go into the app and do it, because it doesn't reset the clock, and it just comes out as a text.
A reminder text.
Yeah, it's just a text where, hey, when are you going to pay? We're waiting, that type of thing, versus an invoice, which starts the clock all over again. So
we learned that the hard way.
Yeah, and we kept resetting the clock, wondering, well, why can't I cancel this?
Setting
yeah, I know. But what happens, see, eBay doesn't tell us this. eBay doesn't communicate the fact that they message the buyer a total of 3 times within that 4-day window. The time they buy it, sometime in between, and closer to that 4 days, they're already reminding the buyer to pay. And all you're doing is adding another email. If the buyer's not seeing the email that eBay is sending them, chances are they're not going to see yours.
Yeah.
Truman says, hello all. Hello, John and Jenna. Hope everyone is doing well as we can be. I think early in the week it was really nice. I love the overcast and the thunderstorms that roll in, right? The really cold rain as compared to how
downpours.
Yeah,
on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah.
As we went out to dinner and we got caught in the flash flood warning, and that was cool.
That was fun.
Yeah,
just standing out in it, and people think you're nuts.
Yeah,
but it's fun. I will go outside in the middle of a thunderstorm and rainstorm in the summer because it's so refreshing. For me, I love it. So, but the thunderstorms are gone, and it's back to the hot weather again, unfortunately. Let's see. Silver hair Larry Todd Stacker says, howdy. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you being here. Sawtooth Outpost says, hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. We have,
here.
Huh?
Ed.
Oh, yeah. Ed, Magic. Hi, John and
Magic
Jenna.
Ed.
I just totally didn't see you. Thanks for being here. Pork Chop says, hello from Texas. Hopefully how's the weather on Texas?
Hot.
The Thrifty Loon says, hey, FAE team, happy Friday. Awesome. And then No One Design says, hey, Ball Cube, John and Jenna. As you notice, it's shrinking
down.
I'd say, as far as the footballs, we probably have, I'd say, about another 80 football cases. And I'm thinking by the time we hit September, most, if not all, will be gone. And we'll have nothing more to talk about behind me. Thinking about what I'm going to put back there, because I just don't think I'm going to go back to just nothingness. Maybe put up a couple racks and put something back there. Yeah, right here. Why not?
Not in front of the closet door, no.
Well, that's in front of the closet door.
Right, and I don't have any access to my stuff.
Well, there you go.
Minnie
Duke says, hello, FAE crew. Hi, John and Jenna. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
You're a new one. Good to see you, though.
God.
No.
Welcome.
I like seeing
I
new
think
names.
I've seen Minnie Duke.
I don't know.
One other time.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Rosie Games says, hi, all. Thanks for being here, Rosie. And then Yosef Shah, you guys have videos on beginner as reseller tips and tricks. I mean, I've made a couple of videos for beginners, You can always go into my my channel and do a search through the different videos I have. I have over 600 videos. So I know that there's a lot of information in there that really any beginner can learn from, and
yeah, there's lots of information that you can take from all of the videos that would really help in our beginner friendly, I think.
Yeah. I don't really try to make videos for, experts or, intermediate or beginner. These are just real life experiences that I deal with. And that's how we do it here. The Thrifty Loon says, Jen, I need my hair to look as good as yours. And then we have Mark Suddick.
Thank you.
Says, hi all. I had a good above average week. Hope everyone has a good week. Also hit that like button now and get more. Have a great weekend.
Right.
So what we failed to mention at the beginning of the live stream is that if you hit that like button, I can't explain how or why, you're going to get a sale within the next 24 hours.
Oh, I need it.
It may not happen here right now during the show, but at some point between now and tomorrow, you're going to get a sale. So
yes.
eBay Life, the daily struggles of an eBay seller, says, hey there, FAE fam. And John and Jenna. Well,
hello.
I think I've seen this guy's channel. I think maybe this popped up in my feed, and I believe
if you click on
I
his
did.
Name, it'll open you a new tab.
Well, not in StreamYard.
Oh.
Not in StreamYard. I'll just click the thing off and on. So, But thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Ruben Almanza says, I really like the mailer you sent me. Thank you. And those are the Gyro Pack mailers, the bubble mailers.
They're really good.
Yeah.
The quality is really, really nice.
They are.
I really like them.
They are. And, it's cool.
Who knew when you get older, you get excited about bubble mailers and poly bags. I mean, just whatever.
We were using bubble mailers, not really bubble mailers, but we were using poly mailers like it was going out of style, like last year, the year before. But now that we've gravitated to larger items, we still use bubble mailers and the poly mailers, but not nearly as much as we did. But I got to tell you that it's going to save you so much money as compared to using boxes all the time. So save 10%. Click the link down below, guys. That's going to save you some money. And their prices are already low anyway, even if you didn't use the link. Eddie G says, go for it, John. Yes. And then Christina says, hello all. Ground Advantage seems to be a great service as far as price and delivery time. We're what now, a month?
Have we used it?
Yeah. We have one waiting to go right now.
Oh, is that a Ground Advantage?
Yeah. It's formerly what is known as first class for a lot of you using the smaller under 1 pound USPS packages, but you can ship up to 70 pounds. And even those packages are somewhat comparable to UPS and FedEx. And that's an advantage to some people that maybe don't use UPS or FedEx and just exclusively want to use USPS. Well, it gives you, I think before we had Parcel Select, but I think that was really bad. I think I used it once or twice. I never really had very good success on that. I think I had a late arrival on one when I used it. So I stopped using that. But I haven't had any complaints. I haven't heard of anyone complaining about Ground Advantage. So, you know what? I think it worked out to be one of those few changes that worked out for sellers.
Actually worked out for the seller.
Yeah, so that's good stuff. Callie Deb says, hello, John and Jen and everyone.
Well,
happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And then Yosef says, what's your eBay? Do you have that on your page? Well, my store is Value Trends. It's all one word, VALUETRENDZ. That's my main store. And I don't necessarily think that I don't think I have it down below. I'm not one of those YouTubers that are looking for you guys to go on and buy stuff from my store. I don't make it a secret either when people ask. I used to be, about 2 years ago, I was really hesitant because I didn't want to share my store with folks because I was really focused on the traffic reports and I didn't want artificial traffic that wasn't interested in buying my stuff. Just wanted to look at my store to kind of throw off my traffic reports. It is what it is. I realize there's a segment of the folks that will look at my store and that's fine. And my traffic might be inflated a little bit because of that. But I just really don't have an interest to make this platform like an extension of my
reliant
store.
on sales from
that's not what this is about.
reviews or whatever. That's not. We're just here to share our experience with this whole thing.
Right. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
The wins, the losses, the highs, the lows.
And you know, here's the deal, guys. And we've talked about this before, and I even put that little post out again.
Yeah.
You all right? I don't know. She has this little thing on her arm that it was bleeding on the left
concert, and it's really deep
and
it won't heal.
Well, we got to talk about that. I didn't know how that happened, but you know, it's one of those things where, guys, I put out that post, and that community post. Maybe some of you have seen it, maybe some of you haven't, but it was just to show you my my store's performance, because I think there's a lot of folks going around, whether it's just people who watch these channels and or other channels, who seem to think that, you know, people that have opinions that they're not happy with on these channels like mine are just people who do YouTube for the sake of getting the views, and will lie to the viewer to make them think that we're doing great with sales, but when we're really not. And so I kind of felt through the comments that I've been seeing on other channels, and nothing related directly or aimed at me on those channels, but also through comments on my own videos, where people are just kind of labeling me as kind of one of those YouTubers who are more interested in getting money from you than to help you make money. And I'm not that guy. And I felt like the best way to do that was to simply just share my numbers and to show you, here's what I'm doing. And I think it's important to do that as a YouTuber, because, you know, there's some credibility, right? Like, if you have a guy who's like, I was struggling last year, guys. I'm surprised that a lot of you guys even stuck with me, if I'm being honest with you, because I was in the same boat that a lot of you guys were, just trying to seek out answers. I wasn't the poster child of sales last year at all. I've already pretty much matched my sale numbers from last year. So I can kind of feel more confident now in kind of sharing this with you. Whereas last year I wasn't. I was not all that happy with my sales. And I get it. I get it. And, you know, the idea that I have a couple sponsors, 2 or 3 sponsors on the channel, people think that I'm beholden to sponsors, and really not. Just an avenue.
You don't make very much money on them.
You don't.
It's nothing to write home about.
You really don't.
I mean, honestly, we do it because the product is good, and if you can save a little bit of money, I mean, I'm down for 10% off on anything.
Yeah.
And if we can just give back to you guys what you've done for us, you know, this community is amazing, and we love you guys like you're our family. And so that's the only reason we have sponsors.
And let me say this, there's not going to be a hater on this earth that's going to make me stop doing these videos. As long as I continue to read comments from people who really feel like they're a part of the community, really appreciate the videos, and a lot of the kind words that you guys put in my comments in the videos, that keeps me going. You know, it really, when I see a really good comment, it makes me want to just stop what I'm doing. Usually I'm listing. Makes me want to stop and like, okay, what video can I put out now, right? Because I enjoy doing the videos. I just got to do better in just saying, all right, if you're a hater, I thought you were going to sneeze. I was going to say bless you. If you're a hater, it's time to go. And I'll be glad to help you leave the channel if you need a block or a little pushing away. And
we'll help you
we have 4 people who watch these videos every time, and the lives, and they will hit the down button. They will hit the unlike button. Maybe they have too many sales, right? But I'd love to help them figure out how to get off the channel if it's that big of a deal for them. Yosef says, I'm on Instagram and YouTube. Awesome.
Just talking to money.
Okay. Rosie Game says, Biscuit, how you doing today? And then Truman says, hi, PTS Treasures. If I missed anyone, I'm making my estate and garage sale list for tomorrow. Hit the like for my cha-ching.
Where are you, Truman?
So
people can go and check it out.
So here's the thing. That's the crazy thing. There's garage sales year round but in some locations it just stops. So like
Yeah.
for you guys, many of you guys, winter is like definitely a no-go.
Yeah.
That's when we're getting a lot of yard sales, you know, because the weather is comfortable. Right now you're getting yard sales and we can't get them. Mad Hatter's Boutique says sales have been booming in August. Views are up too. Hope everyone else is getting similar results
Good.
on
Yay.
eBay. I keep hearing that. I keep hearing a lot of things.
Yeah.
People see that the sales are up. Maybe we're dealing with back to school coming here, and fewer and fewer people are.
You can try
on
and put
vacation.
a label on it. It's because of this. It's because of that.
Yeah,
It's because of whatever. But you're never going to know. Just keep doing what you're doing, and just keep plugging away. I mean, this is what we do, and we can't blame everything on eBay. We can't blame everything on, you know, the merchandise that we have. We can't blame it all on one thing. It's a variety of things that either increases or decreases your sales.
Can I disagree with you for a minute? Just slightly? Okay.
Be careful, you're way too close.
I disagree partially in that I would say, okay, I agree in the fact that we should keep plugging forward. We should keep making our listings. We should keep sourcing. We should keep just giving eBay the activity that it wants. I disagree in that for many, many of us, especially those who want more out of our stores and want more sales and want more revenue, which is why we do this anyway. It's not doing the same things. It's figuring out what can I do differently with what I have.
Well, right, and that's not what I mean.
Right.
I don't mean keep doing what you're doing and you've done for 10 years. Don't keep doing that, because times change, things change. So adapt with the day and age and the things that are going on within the community and within the platform of eBay or Poshmark or all the things that, you know, there's new inventions every day, and people are thinking of ways to, you know, automate and do all these things. So you have to adapt, but that doesn't mean you stop going. You adapt to what's going on around you in the times that we live in. And that goes for, you know, your merchandise, the way that you list, all of these things. That everything plays into a factor of what we do and how we succeed. We have to adapt to the times. It's just, if you don't, you're going to lose.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you know, we can look back to how great eBay was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I got to tell you, I mean, looking back on some of the things that I sold 10 years ago, ain't no way I'm selling that kind of stuff anymore. You know, I remember some of the first things that I used to sell on eBay were broken hard drives back in 2002. I'd go to the computer swap meet. Ain't nobody buying a broken hard drive right now. I mean, of course, the technology is no good. I mean, it's 20 years old, but it's just finding things to sell. And that's why if you can find a solid niche that really is going to be the same type of market now than it's going to be in 5 years ago than it was 10 years ago, then you're in a good niche. But if you find yourself selling in a niche that is now changing and evolving to where things were great 3 years ago and it ain't so hot now, that might not be the right niche for you. And that's why the sourcing's the problem for me to not be in a niche, because I just don't have the source that's going to continually replenish the same type of items for me. But B, it's just one of those things where I'm doing so well buying things that are current. So I listed horse. What the heck did I list? I listed 2 big 5-pound buckets of these horse treats, and it's supposed to like vitamins for like the hooves or whatever. I don't know. I just listed the things. I'm not going to get any more. And if I do, I'll pick them up. Pick them up for really cheap. I picked up this brand new part. It's a $2, it cost me $2 and change. And it's brand new in the package. It's a tractor part. It's like an L-shaped tractor part that sells for $300 some odd, brand new on Amazon. Well, there's some drop shippers that are on that product. There's no one that really actually has the item on eBay except for me. And I undercut the folks that are drop shipping. And you know what? I think I have it up there for about $230. And it may sit for a while, but for $2, it's a heck of an investment. I just think I'm always looking for that type of flip where it's just outrageous. You get 100, 200x your initial investment, which is a small investment, and that is the formula that works for me. And that's why I just continue to mention it, because I really believe with all my heart there's nothing other change I could have made with our store than to how we source. And you source
that was
good.
The biggest blessing that we could have been granted. I mean, honestly, had we not switched and things went the way they went, we wouldn't be here today.
Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, even with my sourcing, the way I source, I'm constantly evolving that and really
broadening.
Well, the source, the stuff that I was buying 6 months ago when I first started this process was just all over the place, right? Now I know after 6 months that I can really refine and I'm not niching down, but I search for certain things, certain types of items that will sell. Like today, I sold an item that sold within like 30 minutes after I listed it.
Well, yeah, that thing yesterday, the safety key for the Sunjoe. I listed it, and literally within an hour, it was sold.
I bought a Sunjoe. It's a Sunjoe electric, and it has. Well, it's electric mower, and it has the battery built in. It's not one of those ones where you take the battery out and charge it. You plug the charger in, and it charges the mower. Well, the mower basically was missing that, and it just wouldn't power on. So we had that. I listed that as parts of repair. I think I was only into the whole thing in box for like $6 or $7. But the key, looks like a little fuse. It's a key that you take out because you don't want to accidentally run the thing when you're moving it around. You're not using it and hurt yourself. So that's what the key is for. And I guess some people have lost their keys, but I saw the comps were showing that was going for $30. Free shipping. I don't know if you offered free shipping on it, but
no, I did $24.99 plus shipping.
There you go. And just from that key alone,
no free shipping here.
Just that key alone, we made money. So it's just being creative and finding things out there. And with such a small buy cost, it's just crazy not to pass some of these things up, even some of the things I've never seen before. Minnie Duke says, my sales have been okay after I restarted cranking it up and listing more. Low ASP, but happy to see things moving.
Yeah, that's always the nice feeling. You know, you go out and you source and you try to get these what you think or what you feel is a good item and it's going to make you, a decent amount. Mm-hmm. And then it sells and you're like, yeah, all right, I'm onto something.
Right. And don't get me wrong. I'm not here proclaiming to anyone that low ASP items will not sell, because they will. But if we're talking low ASP items, we're talking high volume. If you're trying to make this work as a revenue source, as a way to either pay your bills or make that vacation, whatever you're trying to do, you're just going to have a lot less volume or a lot less sales going forward with lower ASP items based on the trends that I've seen and just watching other channels and what they're going through. It just seems like sales are happening, but at just a much slower pace. And that's why I'm just a big proponent of gravitating over to what I know works for me. And that's all I can do is report that to you guys. Blended Family Work says, hello, John and Jenna. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope it was great week. Brandy. And thanks
Hi,
for being
Brandy.
Here. Thank you for being here. And let's see. Picky Ricky says externals are way up. I think the traffic is not right. I think that either the traffic has not been right all along and they're just fixing it, or recently the traffic reports are just off. One of the two. I think something's wrong with it. So it's really hard to really make heads or tails. I'd say for me, I'm going to keep looking at it, but going to wait a good solid month and a half before I really start putting a lot of stock into the traffic. But Sawtooth says my sales have been up. Awesome. Yosef Shaw says, do you guys have private coaching? How much? So I've been asked that. People have even contacted me by email and they ask for private coaching. I don't do that, guys. There are other channels who would happily do that for you. Unfortunately, I just am one that it's not about me making money off of you guys. There's been many times where people have sent me emails, and if it's about looking at your store, I'll be glad to look at your store. Don't ask for a dime. I'll usually take about a half an hour of my time to do that. It's just because I like to help people, and anyone who's had me look at their store can attest to that. And it's not a, you know, I have you contact me, I look at your store, and then once I look at your store, I then tell you, okay, well, moving forward, I can coach you for $100 an hour or whatever that is, because that ain't me either. That's not anywhere near my intentions, nor will it ever be. So I'm just the wrong person to ask that, because I do not see myself as ever being the kind of person that will charge you guys to help you. Now, will I, if you email me, will that be your personal coaching session? And no, I don't have that kind of time either. I have an eBay store to run. So I do help when I can, but I always turn down offers to coach folks because it's time intensive and I have no plans on making money off it. So I always wish I had more time in a day. There's only 24 hours in a day, and if there was more time, I'd be more willing to do it for free, but I just can't. Thrifty Loon says, hey, Biscuit Butt. And then Sawtooth says, but selling lower value items. I think my sales have been up selling lower value items. Yeah. And like I said, it's certainly possible. And I'm sure sales are going to start going up here as we get into the fall and get closer to Q4. Not saying that it's not possible to sell lower value items. I'm just telling you what works for me and us.
I sell them, but it's very few and far between.
Noah Designs says, I bought a bunch from Jar Pack using John and Jenna's discount code. We bought 1,000 cases of a few different colors, and they had a hiccup on one of the orders, but Jar Pack's customer service very quickly solved the issue.
Good.
Yeah,
yay. So I love to hear that.
They're good people. Every time I've reached out to them just regarding stuff like when we had the 20,000 subscriber event, they were, overly willing to send us some stuff to share with you guys. And, they're good people all the way around. And I'm glad they reached out. We get a lot of sponsorship requests for the channel. And I'd say about 95% we turned down. And in fact, my first initial response to them when they hit me up for sponsorship was, I don't know, I'm not too sure. I didn't even hear about this company before. Jarpack is. Which one came first? FedEx. Okay. So U.S. Mail is here, but Jarpack's a good company. They have good quality stuff, and you're not going to find that type of quality at a better price. And I don't put my name or my channel's name on a product unless I really feel good about sharing it with you guys. And that's one of them. Victor Wawiorka says, hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here, Victor. And, we've got Prosser's in the house. Hi, all. Thought I'd drop in and say hi.
Prosser's back.
Prosser's here.
Well, hi, Prosser.
Yeah, nice seeing you. Glenda Bavona says, hi, everyone. Hope y'all had a good week. We did. And we have Tommy says, I'm magical. Ask my wife. She can't fix me either.
Yeah, he's pretty magical, too.
I'm very magical. Biscuit Butt, I should sneak over to the house and crawl into the doggy bed.
Too late. Kylo's in it.
Let's see. Maya says, has anyone here tried Magiscriptor for the descriptions? I've seen a few YouTubers talking about it. It's paid, but doesn't seem to be too expensive.
Never heard of it.
It's probably an AI. All these plugins feed into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, you have to really tell it, like when you're asking it to make descriptions for you, you have to really tell it a few times not to talk about item description, not to talk about, don't over, fluff up this item. Just give the facts. And then finally, after a couple commands, it'll calm down and make some pretty good item descriptions. But I don't know. I don't think I'd pay for that type of thing. I think that the one that eBay provides, as long as you have good item specifics, is okay. But I don't even use it. I don't use it. A, it's not on the PC, and B, I just go in and find the information about the item I'm selling, and I just put some bullet points in there.
There's so many free things out there. There's no need to waste your money. I mean, I don't know.
Let's see. Chastity says, "Hi all, got my first negative feedback today. Totally my fault. Shipped the wrong item, but worked it out with the buyer and revised the feedback." See,
Yay.
that's what it's all about. I mean,
Customer
ultimately,
service for the win.
yeah, and you didn't even need to rely on eBay to remove it, right? So that's good.
That's awesome.
Jimmy D says, "Greetings from Waco, Texas, 104 degrees."
104. Where are we today?
This thing says 94, but I don't think that's accurate.
No, it's 105.
I don't know where this thing thinks we are.
Lake Elsinore?
I don't know how that is possible. I don't know. I might have looked up out there for when we were going out there weeks ago.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's 105.
Yeah. I wish it was 94.
So we feel your pain, Jimmy.
Minnie Duke says, "Hit the like button to get salespeople." Yeah, we have 134 watching right now. Please hit the like button. How many people have hit the like button? 132? No.
No, those are people. How many that's watching?
It doesn't say. Sawtooth says, "Good job, Chastity. Good to work hard to keep 100%. And I think it's good to have good feedback. Don't get me wrong. I have some negatives on my account. Sometimes you just can't get those resolved. Whether the buyer doesn't follow through. Like at one time, a buyer agreed to remove the feedback and they never appeared again or replied to my emails. But at the end of the day, as long as you put a good reply, you tried everything you can to get eBay to remove that negative. Like I have one that's kind of in a pending status. They said that by Sunday it'll be removed. So we'll see if that happens or not. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I put a good reply, very professional reply underneath it, not one that's snarky at the buyer, because sometimes these buyers, we really want to tell the buyer what we think. But we just put something that's professional. In this case, the person wanted to return an item beyond the 30-day window. They opened the return like 40-something days in, which is beyond my generous 30-day return policy, as compared to Mercari and Poshmark, which is 3. And I figure that whatever situation the buyer was going through at the time that prevented them from returning it's not my issue. And I'm not here to help people through their lives. Okay. If they want to return something bad enough, they have 30 days to do it. If they fail to open the return request within 30 days, because eBay will give them another 35 plus days once they open that return request, all they had to do is go in and hit a button and open a return request to give themselves that big boost of time. Well, that's on them. It's not on me. And as a result, they gave me a negative feedback, and they shouldn't even been allowed to stand this long. But I went in and put a professional reply that exactly what I told you, that we offer a generous 30-day return policy. And, I think most reasonable people will look at that and say, yeah, it is what it is, right? Ed says, "What do you think eBay might consider low end?" So that's a good question, because they consider a low end buyer someone who buys less than $200 in a year, right? And so I think there's at least 3 tiers. It could be more than that. But I think eBay also categorizes their sellers. I think it'd be foolish not to think so. And so all we can do, because of course they're not sharing that information, they're just talking about buyers, right? Because that's their focus, and it very well should be. They're a business trying to bring more buyers to their site to buy stuff, even though they're losing buyers every year. The idea that they're going to share seller information with the world is just secondary. It's probably not on the forefront of their mind. But all we can do is draw conclusions. So in my mind, I'm thinking someone that's, say, $40,000, $50,000 a year or less is probably a low-end seller. And of course, eBay counts everything when it comes to your actual sales number. That's what it's sold for, the shipping, if you charge shipping on top. And I believe they charge, now I might be wrong on this, I believe they consider the tax the buyer pays that's tacked onto it in that equation. But I think I'm probably wrong because your 1099s don't show your taxes collected. Prosser says there's a lot of people getting negatives. Hopefully it's bots going to be the new norm as a result of instant payments. I wouldn't doubt that as we get forward in 5 to 10 years from now, there's going to be so much of this AI that's integrated, not only to eBay, just in our everyday lives, right? That it's just going to be second nature. But again, negatives don't bother me so much as it used to. I remember that used to be the metric that really got you into some trouble. If you had too many negative feedbacks, it could really hurt your account. And now it's like you can see people making sales like left and right, and you check their account, they have like 95% feedback. You know, it's just with lots of sales, right? So I like it. Just for me, I like to think that I'm providing good service to the customer, and therefore I want it cleaned up when I can, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Anytime Picker Roman says, me and Archie will be doing live from Las Vegas Strip tonight.
What, you're going to be in Vegas?
He's not in Vegas.
You're lying.
But I do know that Archie is going to be down at the Strip. If I'm not mistaken, Archie, you might want to put who's doing the live. I think it's Mikey Moneybags. I don't even know the guy's name, but he told me today. I just forgot. But Archie will be there.
Sonny's here. Didn't he mention Sonny?
I think Sonny will be there. Sonny, I think, is going to be there, but Mike Bags of Money or something like that. I don't know the guy. I have not seen his channel, and I guess I'm just out of touch. Tommy Bernard podcast.
Mikey Bags of Money.
See, I was close. That's like someone say, I don't know, the Flippin' Ain't Easy channel. It's like Ain't Flippin' Easy or something like that.
It's so crazy how when you when you watch a certain seller, or you integrate different, podcasts or videos and on YouTube, now you see the community is so much bigger than you realize.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many more that have YouTube video or YouTube channels. And like for me, I didn't realize there were that many YouTube channels for resellers until I I was watching Sunny, I was watching Art of Resell, just a couple of others as well, and just more come up on my, my feed.
There's a lot of really, really good people out there. Yeah. And, it's just, I don't have enough time in a day to sit back and watch these videos. Whatever comes up in my feed, I'll take a look at. But for the most part, if I had the time, I probably would, find more of these channels. Tommy Bernard says, eBay told me if I use crackheads as employees or Roman, I will be rich. Well, not really, because Roman only lists a few items an hour. If you ever watch his live streams when he tries to do listings.
I don't think he's ever gotten any done.
He does. I think he has. But I've never seen him make a listing. Let me put it that way.
He can go on a live tangent for like 5-6 hours and then list.
He's the only guy I know on YouTube that can sit there and make himself laugh. It's like almost every comment he's dying laughing. Prosser says, I think there's a lot of complaints on mail delivery here in the UK at the moment. We've got to get that worked out. So far, you know what?
The Royal Mail or something.
I got to say, and I'm probably going to jinx myself when saying this, but I haven't had to really deal with but one claim this year. That was one where my buyer received that. That was earlier in the year. Was it this year or last year? I think it was the beginning of the year. And they bought that big CD changer deal, and it got really jacked up. And the buyer was willing to send me photos, willing to work with the claim. The UPS people, really quickly approved the claim process. But aside from that, shipping has been, really haven't had any complaints about late people not receiving their item. I had one where someone received a case that was broken. They ordered 2 of these cases, and one was broken. But aside from that, shipping has been pretty good for us this year. Let's see who else we have here. Sawtooth says, Prosser, I got 4 negatives. I had to get removed recently. Obviously bad if eBay removed them. Yeah. sometimes I'd say at least half the time when you receive a negative feedback, there's something within that negative feedback that eBay can use to remove it if they're looking at their policy, like the situation I'm dealing with. But if you're dealing with a negative that just didn't like the item, it doesn't really, it's not good for you. You're not going to be able to get rid of that in most cases. No One Design 2 says, John, great color. I'm a guess Jenna is responsible for the wardrobe choice for the live. No, sir. No, sir.
No.
Now, her own wardrobe choice, yes. But I try to mix it up. Look, I've got about, 30 hats? A lot of them are the same.
I think it's more.
When I try to like mix it up when I can, but
he will take a hat that he wants to wear,
yeah,
and then tries to find a shirt to match.
Yeah,
it's not the other way around.
Yeah, I was trained back at my last job. We had some coworkers that took me. He said, Jenna, I'm going to take John out to Los Angeles. We actually went to Victoria Gardens, and we bought like $500 worth of clothes. And he's like, okay, now you're gonna have to wear, this with this color combination, that type of thing. And I got trained on how to color coordinate, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. That was an interesting time.
The very beginning of our relationship.
Yeah. And that friend is no longer with us, RIP. So Mary Knight says, hello, stopping by. Thanks for being here. Minnie Duke says, so far I've managed to make okay supplemental cash from eBay and haven't to resort to delivery apps. And, again, Archie made that video, and you can make some pretty decent money. Now, of course, a lot of it depends on where you're at. If you're out in the middle of the sticks, you're not gonna have many people to not only deliver to, but you're not going to have much as in the way of places to deliver from. So if you're in a larger city and you're strapped for cash, it certainly is a way to do it. Now, it's going to be slow when you first start, but as you get the hang of it, it would be a pretty good go-to thing. Now, I haven't had to since January. Of course, that was just a backup way to make money. And it's always good to have that ace in the hole. Because things might be going good now, but you just never know. And to be able to do that when you need money in a crunch or just want a little extra money, I think it's kind of a cool thing to have. Tommy says, if sales are poor, go to the nearest full screen mirror and have a chat with the person looking at you for a few hours. Mm-hmm. That's the truest statement I've seen today. Because look, I think we all want the easy, quick answer. And I think you need to not only sit in front of that mirror, like Tommy says, you need to be there for quite some time because finding the answer for some is going to be quicker than others. And last year, I got to tell you, I was so stuck on liquidation that I haven't even looked at a liquidation pallet yet this year, and I don't need to. So things have changed a lot in my mindset. I think it's a change of mindset. You got to change what I think a lot of us thought worked for them well, that's just no longer working anymore for whatever reason. Silver Hair Stacker says, thinking of doing a chargeback on my rolling toilet seat. Some Vegas seller sent it in a crummy box. Yeah, and if you watch the video,
a crappy box.
Yeah, and if you watch the video, I talked about the situation, and then I also kind of gave you a little snippet of what would turn out to be a long phone call. And if you think I talk a lot, that rep just was, he was just talking his head off. But he did something that many reps that we find don't do, which is why I was sort of compelled to record the last part of the discussion, the conversation. And that is, he seemed to care. He cared and was looking for a way to help me resolve my issue. And that's all customer service is about. And I thought that was kind of cool to share with everyone. The Thrifty Loon says, I did my first international sale this week. Awesome. You will not see me doing many international sales at all. I can tell you that. I'm going to be opted out and stay opted out. We went to the other account. We opted in, and we have 4 days, no sales.
Well, we did that along
Yeah.
with took off all of the promoted.
We took off the
we
promoted
did
too.
it, you know, quite the extreme experiment.
Yeah.
And finally I went in and came in here and I said, we need to turn on the promoted because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not one offer, not one sale. It
Yeah.
was sad.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we need to
I
do
personally
something.
think that was more tied into the promoted rates. Look, I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of people, and it's just like it just kind of makes me sad. You see a lot of people who will willingly pass up sales. Many people are probably watching right now and think of a total idiot for saying it, but they will pass up sales or opportunities to get more sales because they refuse to promote. And I get it. No one wants to give eBay any more money, but at the same time, what are we doing this for? Are we selling on eBay to make a point to somebody? Or are we selling on eBay to make the most money we can given the situation that's in front of us? This is eBay's sandbox, guys. And those who refuse to play by eBay's rules within the sandbox are going to have a harder time succeeding in making money. That's just the bottom line. So if you're not here to make money, what are you here for? I mean, to me, it can't be, well, I enjoy selling this kind of thing. Well, then why are you selling it? Just go in the corner and play with it if you love it so much. If you really want to sell it, find ways and creative ways to sell it. Get your items seen and more impressions on your items, better prices, and you're going to sell some of this stuff. But it's so sad that I see so many people leaving comments in here. They're so mad at eBay. I mean, we call it Feebay. We call eBay all these things. A lot of people hate eBay. I can't say I do. I'm disappointed in eBay, but I'm going to continue to play the game that eBay is asking me to play. Why? Because I'm doing this for one reason. I'm doing it to make money. And if that means I have to make a little bit less so I can get that initial cost back and make a little profit, move on to something else, and flip that item 3 times to the next guy who's refusing to promote, who barely flips that once in the same time frame, well, I'm winning the game. And I only mention this to you guys because, and I'm trying to talk people in to doing what's best for their account. I'm not a shill for eBay. I'm not here to try to bump up their revenues. I'm here to tell you, look, if you're not promoting or hiding out at 2% and refuse to go anymore, that might be your problem. And I'm not saying go to 15%. I think that's ridiculous. But you find a happy medium, find a happy place. It's at 3%, 5%. And for me, the max is 10%. So it's up to you what you want to do. But that could be the answer for some people. But, take that long look in the mirror and, figure out, what are you here for? Are you here to make a point? You might as well just go take a trip to San Jose with the little picket sign then if you're going to, protest promoted listings. And then people want to constantly are putting in the comments, we should form a sellers union. We should go on strike. We should not promote. And okay, so fine. If you think there's millions of sellers on eBay, the biggest YouTube channels that talk about eBay are like over 300K. So if you were able to convince 100% of those viewers to go on strike and not promote, the other 80% of sellers who don't even consume eBay YouTube content are going to reap the benefits of sales because people are going to be buying their stuff and we're going to be suffering. So I understand, make a point, make a stand, but eBay ain't the place to do it, guys. Make a stand within your own listing habits as to what you're going to promote at. But this whole talk about, we need to form a union, solidarity, that ain't never going to happen. It's better to find other avenues to focus your attention on, like maybe figuring out why you're not getting sales personally. And that's no attack on anybody, but it's just me being real about my thoughts about that subject. I don't know what more I can say on that, so I'll just move on. Minnie Duke says, after talking to that person in the mirror, then ask Tommy for sources of his shoes.
He'll never tell you.
And that is the toughest part of the equation. I mean, we talk about promoted listings, but it's not even so much that. I mean, you find the right item, you can hang out at 2% with promoted listings. Find the right item, you don't have to even play the promoted listings game. And I think that's why I say reselling is a lot like being a private investigator, like being Sherlock Holmes, because we have to really investigate where are these items at that I can buy to resell. And it took me a long time to finally get on board and figure that out and get away from a lot of the stuff that wasn't working for me that I was trying to make work. And I had to come to that realization with myself that buying random boxes of Amazon returns when I knew that the person that was putting those boxes together was cherry picking them, that wasn't the way. But I kept buying those boxes and buying those boxes as if I was going to find some miraculous, item that was going to yield me hundreds of, and that's because it happened one time. I thought it was going to happen again, and it never did. When I bought that pallet of Amazon return boxes and found that brand new $1,000 Sony camera lens in there, but those days are gone. And if I sourced thinking that, well, 3 years ago I was able to get whatever electronics that I wanted in these pallets, and I continue to think that way, that's just being stubborn, I think, and you have to be willing to change. No One Design says, Jenna, the public needs to know, when will you give us the info about that 10-foot tumbler you got there? Okay.
Okay, so I want to see now. It's not 10 foot.
It's not even a foot. It's not even a foot. It's like
it's 10 inches.
Roman says, Todd Plumbers.
And it's not a sticker on the bottom. It's.
Did you make that one?
Yes.
Okay. Todd Plumbers always suggest installing was ring before installing toilet unless you want to carry toilet around the house with you. I don't know. Have you been drinking today, Roman?
I didn't understand
that. But it makes me feel good that you're typing like that, because when I make mistakes in my reading, I don't feel so bad. Mini Duke, having 2 chargebacks due to buyer does not recognize the transaction. One is protected eBay and one is not. Both are shipped through old eBay global shipping program, prime example of inconsistency. But that's where you make your case, okay? Make your case not to the credit card company, but to eBay. You contact eBay and you get someone from they call it the escalations department, but I believe it's the dispute department. It's all in the same. And you say, okay, can you tell me why I'm covered here? And they'll say, oh yeah, because this falls under the seller protections policy. Excellent. And then you show them this other one. Can you tell me how this is different than the first one? And if they can give you a good answer, then of course let it go. But chances are they're not going to be able to. Jerry Johnson says, a little late, but I'm here. But as long as you're here, I'm a little late in reading your comments. So there you go. Jimmy D says, part-timer results for July 2023, net $1,100, $540 in fees. Promoted listings was twice this month than last month's. Seems like we're all working harder for less, just my opinion. So you're working harder for less, but the thing is you set your fees. So, okay. So let's take a look a little further. You made $1,100 in sales and $540 in fees. So your fees went up. Did your sales go up? And did you recently bring your fees up? And what was that number? So maybe you bring your promoted fees down a little bit and see what happens with that. But I think, again, wouldn't you rather have a sale? Maybe you only had 3x, you only get 3x the cost, right? But it's been sitting for a while. You make the sale because you're going to put that money into something better than just to let it continue to sit at 4x, 5x, and hope the unicorn comes along and buys it without being promoted. Okay. We just have to adapt what eBay's telling us is working. Now, I think they want to trick us into believing that the way to go is 14, 15%, but that's eBay's little Jedi mind trick, trying to get the weak-minded seller into thinking that I can't make money unless I do 15%. Nobody here is saying that. But my thing is, get off the rail, which is 2%, find a happy spot, like for some it's 3, 4, 5%, and see if that makes a difference for you. And it's trial and error. Only you, because your situation is different, can know if maybe making that little change is going to work for you. What works for Tommy maybe something totally different, but his situation's a lot different too. Silver Hair says, yeah, if you're sitting on toilet seats, get them listed. Well, then they'd have to be a used toilet seat if you've sat on them. Mary Knight says, posting my Halloween cookie jars now. Just got done posting my 104th cookie jar.
Wow.
These are no joke.
Wow.
That's awesome. That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, it does sound fun. I would love to be able to see those.
Yeah. As far as going back to the whole thing about if you're sitting on toilet seats, get them listed. I seem to find my toilet seats in waves, so I haven't found a whole lot recently. I never thought toilet seats were seasonal, but it just seems that, maybe I'll get more here in a few months. Maybe people aren't home using the toilet seats. That's
oh my God. So many ways that could go.
PTS Treasure says, got my sales for the thumbs up. Hit the like, guys.
Yay.
And then Millie Vegas says, hello, everyone. I am from Texas, Vegas Decor, looking for a new name for my reseller shop. Well, I got to tell you, Millie, I am the last one to ask for store names because I'm looking at the funny side. I'm not looking at the professional side. Because if I had my way about it, I would have gone back to Homie's Depot on the other account. Anytime Picker says the only product that nobody will fight for the bins are used toilet seats.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Just don't have that hand slip off
God. Okay.
Killishaw 33 says, moved to Northwest Las Vegas not long ago from Arizona. Where's the best place to source items here? Thanks for all the good info you guys give us. Well, you're welcome.
Thanks for being here, but
I can't give you all that information. Unfortunately, I learned
Northwest Las Vegas, so up Centennial Hills area.
Yeah.
There's nothing there to source.
Yeah.
There's nowhere. There's a Goodwill, but you can start off prices are ridiculous.
Yeah, you can start off the Bins, which is the southern part of Las Vegas. I think, I don't know if I'd go to the Bins anytime soon. Just so many people there. You just got to do your homework. There are liquidators in town. You have liquidation.com that's in town off of the eastern part of the city. You can give them a check out, but I gave my information when I was sourcing through B-Stock. Had some really great pallets that I pulled out of there a couple years ago, made some unboxing videos. And because of that video, I was not able to buy another pallet from them ever again because people were onto them and they were buying the pallets and pushing up my bid cost where it was just over 40% MSRP. It would make no sense to buy that. Talking open box customer returns. So I kind of killed the market for myself. So as much as I like to help, that's one challenge that I refuse to make myself have to deal with, and I just can't share it. But
there are several others. I mean, there's the Goodwill, but yeah, they're overpriced unless you get, if they have some kind of a day going on where it's like 50% off. There's also Savers. So when we lived in California, we didn't have Savers. And when we came out every year in June to bowl, we were on a bowling league, and we would come out every June. And while he was bowling, I went to Savers. And I found a lot of things there. I go there for personal things that I just need for around the house. Yeah. And there's good prices at Savers. Goodwill, not so much.
And you can sign up with Savers to get a discount on certain days. You can go and get certain discounts. So I think it's like Wednesday or whatever. Yeah. And there's multiple Savers in town. Mm-hmm. So you can certainly do that. That'll work as well. Let's see.
I think it's Rainbow. Is that Rainbow that Savers is on?
It's hard to say.
It's on Rainbow.
But do a search on Google and it'll give you all the locations there. Larry Todd says buyers wanted a full refund for a FedEx damaged stereo they wanted to keep. Told them $15 partial or ship it back. They took the $50. Of course.
Of course they did.
Of course. I mean, people do what works.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, buyers are they live under this thing of, well, it never hurts to ask, right? They have no intention on returning the item back, but they can always make it sound like it's the end of the world. Maybe nothing's wrong with the item, but they're going to try to get some money back. I've had that happen. And sometimes you have to call their bluff and say, I'd prefer you return it. If you don't like it, just send it back.
Yeah.
Picky Ricky doesn't do partials. Rather have it back to protect my feedback. Yep. Noah Design says, can we take a moment to appreciate how John is nicely heathered? You like that? Yeah, you gotta like that.
There's your moment. Now keep
Yeah,
going.
I love it. Let's see. Tommy says, for $100, I'll teach you how to buy low and sell high. There you go. So contact Tommy Bernard Podcast. You can reach him at Tommy Bernhard. Make sure you put an H in there at gmail.com.
You guys are so wrong.
Dixie Flipper says, hi, John and Jenna. Just listing my unlisted stuff, hoping to have it listed by the 18th and 19th. Being I'm home, I've come down to Las Vegas sourcing with Biscuit Butt. Yeah. Now, I'm curious where you guys are going to go on the 18th and 19th. It's just so hot. There's no yard sales to hit. I mean, there are a few, but
the bins.
Oh, just make sure you
we
wear
know that there are no bins up in
St. George. Yeah, just make sure you wear extra padding because there's some people that
put your elbow guards on. Make sure you have gloves on because that place is nasty.
Flipping for Change says, hey y'all, just got back from 16 days on Time Away. Time Away is off, and apparently so is my store. Can I hit 20 times for 20 sales? No, it's like going to Costco and getting a free sample. You can't just get more. You're only going to get one free sample. You can't get multiple free samples. At some point, it's not going to work. But
they're going to recognize you
yeah.
and be like,
no, we already gave you that little slice of pizza. It's time to move on to where the Jello is.
You can try it.
But but hit the like button once, guys. It at least get you started, right?
Yeah.
Marilyn Igley says, how do you know we're going to get a sale if we hit the like button? It's just in the air. It works. And I wouldn't advertise it if people weren't saying it didn't work.
Yeah. It just, for some reason, I don't even know where this came from. It just started happening, and
it was a fun thing to say.
It was just a fun thing.
Yeah.
And it actually, people will tell you it works.
And Marilyn, what is it going to hurt if you hit the like button and don't get a sale?
Yeah.
Maybe next time. If it doesn't work this time, maybe it'll work next time. But it's just a little click on the mouse. I'm sure you've clicked on a lot of things on your computer that were worse than the like button on this live stream. Dave Philman says, hey guys, feeling discouraged today. Had to cancel an item I couldn't find. Ended up with a defect. Bummer.
Oh.
That's not fun.
Yeah, we've had those.
That's not fun. That's why. It's another reason why I think finding a way to slim down your store makes sense, because it's less stuff that you have to dig through, less stuff that can be lost. And if you have thousands of items, chances are you're going to have one or two somewhere in that sea of stuff that's going to come up missing. And that's not fun. Jimmy D says, 600 videos. If I go back and like all 600 videos, if I get 600 sales this weekend, going to stay busy weekend. No, I wish that was the case.
I wish we could do that for you.
Noah Design says, for $200, Tommy will show you how not to buy high and sell low and make you feel good about it.
I just want to cuddle with this puppy.
Yeah.
So cute.
Tommy Bernard says, so every YouTuber is getting the same 10% code. Come on, Gyro Pack. They want to be part of the YouTube reseller trifecta.
Who else is doing it? I know.
I know that there's some other channels
Kristen is sponsored by them.
But they're good people. They give good products. So, hey, I'm good with it. It isn't like I'm saying, look, guys, within 5 seconds of my video, hey, let me perform this service for you, or let me do this for you, or give you this program, or sign up for my, Patreon, and I'll give you 10% off. At least this is something that people can use. It slightly helps the channel in that we get a little bit of a kickback. But it ain't a whole lot, guys. No one's getting rich off of these sponsorships. Lisa Nia says, Advantage seems to take a day more than First Class did, though. And I think they have it advertised as such when you're looking at eBay labels, when you're comparing. So the Ground Advantage to maybe FedEx's basic offering or UPS's basic offering. It gives you a window of time. And I think it's maybe a little bit slower, but it's not a whole big difference. Peter Wires says, "Hey guys, just started trading on eBay 4 weeks ago, having used eBay for 20 years just for personal stuff. I'm based in Cheshire here in the UK. Watch numerous hours of your eBay talk." Well, awesome. Thank you for being here, Peter. I can't speak English today, but thank you. Well, when can I speak English, right?
Not today, not yesterday, or tomorrow.
When you just talk a lot, which I do, I'm sorry, but that's just kind of what this gig is. You get kind of tongue-tied from time to time.
Say that again.
You get kind of tongue-tied from time to time. Mad Hatter's Boutique says, "I'm loving Ground Advantage. Same price as first class, but saves a lot on priority items that weigh over £1. I charge shipping, so better for the customer to pay less." Yes, I agree with that a lot. It is a definite improvement. And how often can you say that, we get changes like that? The first thing you see with like, okay, here comes a USPS change, you start to cringe and wonder, okay, how bad is it going to be? But this one was pretty good.
Hi, Sylvia.
Where's Sylvia?
She's right above the hide current comment. Right there. Right.
Sylvia, there she is. Hi, Sylvia. How you doing? Thanks for being here. We have Deborah DeLuco says, "Debbie from Pittsburgh. I watch videos while I'm working. I always look to see if one of yours is on. I like yours the best."
Aww,
well, thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
Awesome. That's nice of you. But you never really have to look. We're usually here Mondays and Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern, where you're at. And you don't have to really, you just know that we're going to be here. Lisa, "People are rude, so the heck with them." Yeah, they can be. Sunny, how you doing, Sunny? "Hate watchers, lame. I just hide them with YouTube Studio app." Yeah, sometimes you have to hide people. You have to show them the door. Yeah. I don't like doing that, but I mean, I guess it's pretty sad. I mean, if you're going to watch any channel for that matter, and you can't take anything positive out of what they're saying, I mean, you have the option to click away, but the fact that you continue and, you have something negative to say out of all the possible good things that were said in the program, and focus on the negative.
Like Archie told you the other day.
Yeah.
Howard Stern didn't get famous because everybody liked what he had to say.
Who wants to be that guy?
No, well, I'm not. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is people are going to watch you even if they don't like you, just so they can critique you.
I know. But, sometimes you just kind of feel, I think sometimes, and it's part of being human, right? I think people want positive feedback, and when they see the negative, and it's like, I don't even see how that could be a negative. It kind of like, it doesn't feel good.
Some people can turn around what you say and make it just the most disgusting thing, and it's like, that's not even close to what it meant.
So Prosser says, "John and Jen are probably the most honest and genuine eBay resellers on YouTube that I have ever had the pleasure of being part of their community."
Aw, thanks, Prosser.
Thank you. And darn it, why don't you get your store back and you could be here and talk shop with us. Carl Becker says, "My goal this fall winter is going to local community garage sales in our parks and sell some of my overstock and stuff not selling."
Yeah.
So yeah, that is pretty cool to have a community garage sale. That's fun. I think that's pretty good because you got pretty much, it's like the 127 is that going on this weekend that a lot of people are going to? It's from like what, Michigan to like Alabama or something.
That would be so
that
fun.
Would be very fun.
Yeah, too far away.
Yeah, it's just a little too far. Peter says, "I'm so glad I found this channel. Learned so much in a short time." Well, awesome. See, it's that type of thing right there. That's what this channel is all about. Some people are convinced it's all about making money, and no, it's not. It's part of getting bigger as a channel. It's never been about that, but this is what it's about. Finding people that can find value in my experiences and just things that I deal with, right? Tommy says, "One thing is guaranteed, keep doing the same thing over and over and yield the same results." That is true. Well, not necessarily, because it won't be the same as the results that you had 3 years ago. Maybe it'll be better, maybe it'll be worse. But something there will change, but it just won't, it usually isn't good. Tommy says,
"We're expecting the same."
Yeah, that's true. Tommy says, "When someone starts off with, 'I've been doing eBay for 20 years, 99% of the time it's followed by complaints about poor sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. I could tell you that, look, I only make reference to how long I've been selling for, just to give people an idea that just didn't wake up and start selling on eBay yesterday. I went full time a little over like 4.5 years ago. It doesn't even seem like 4.5 years. But before then, it was like I would come across stuff to sell and I'd spend a couple months selling it, right? And then, all right, fine. I'm working my 9 to 5, and then I'd come across more stuff and then sell it and move on. It was never really anything consistent, but it was over a 20-year period where I was selling off and on. And I learned quite a bit during that time. I mean, if I didn't have that experience, I probably would have never thought that I could pull off eBay as a full-time living, which if I didn't have a nest egg to fall back on, it probably wouldn't have happened, but it worked out.
We would be in Philadelphia.
Oh, don't even talk about that. No One Design says, I'm always adapting. I try a new method to hide my wallet, and my wife adapts new methods to find it. Truman says, I'm in hot Texas, Jenna. I'm seeing a lot of resellers having garage sales. I'm having more luck with the inside estate sales. Spent under 40 the past 2 weeks, possible $400 to $500 for each weekend. That's really good.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot Texas. I hear it's hot.
John Doe's expanding store to include more categories. Can't rely only on video games and media. Yeah, media is just, it's just.
If we relied on that, we would be broke and we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't get very good sales on media.
As time goes on, media has less and less demand.
Yeah.
The same, Blu-rays and DVDs that you could sell now were hotter 2 years ago. But they're, like, look at VHS tapes. Archie got a sea of VHS tapes, and I don't know how the heck he's going to get rid of all of them. But
I mean, the world is digital now, and you're only going to find, the true, I don't even know what the word is, vintage buyers that want them.
Yeah. Now, Picky Ricky has a statement here. A reseller tried getting my year 200 Microsoft mouse off me yesterday for $65 when I have it up for $250. Told him not to be giving other reseller my profits. So how long? I guess there's a number of things that you have to ask yourself. Is A, what are you into that mouse for? How much did you, were you into it for, or are you into it for? How long you've been sitting on it? And, if you're only into it for $20 and you've been sitting on it for, 6 months, maybe 65 is the price, right? But I don't know enough about it to really make an assessment. But I think there's many times I get lowballed and I'll say, you know what, I'm taking this offer because I'm going to make 2 to 3x after it's all said and done. This thing's taken up space, been sitting here for a while, and it's just time to let it go. I think we just got to remove the attachment, like year 200 Microsoft mouse. So I think in just that, if you're saying year 200 Microsoft mouse, you probably meant 2000 and whatever.
£2, John. 2 days. £2, he says.
£2? I think $2. That's the same as quid, right? So, okay. So then come back with what you're willing to take as your low. I don't play the bargaining game with people. I let them know I don't play the haggle game with my offers. This is the lowest that I'll take. But, I pick you, Ricky. I don't know, your situation, but, it could be 23 years old. I think that's the year's 2000. But, consider those factors when you're making those decisions. Tommy says, I started carrying a man purse to avoid losing a wallet, keys, and memory medicine daily after hitting 45.
I'm sorry for your wife.
I lose my keys all the time.
At least twice a day.
Not twice a day.
Yes.
Because I don't try to drive the car every day.
Okay, once a day, you lose your keys, wallet, or phone. Honey, can you call my phone? I can't find it.
That's true. That's true. I'm always carrying my phone around and I put it down randomly.
In your hand.
Minnie Duke says, have a buyer message saying the shirt I sold her in February keeps losing color every time it's washed.
Wow. Tell them to stop washing it.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
Well,
buy some dye. That's just insane.
Let them know we do take 30-day returns.
God.
It's been since
People
February.
are not the smartest.
Yeah, it's time to block that person. Yeah, it's like, why are you contacting me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to bet they didn't spend a whole lot for it, and they want the world. John Doe says, I've discovered I don't like to test list VCR DVD recorders. I need to find a reseller to dump them off on for $10 each. I have at least 30 of them.
Oh.
Wow. I know there's some people that would take them off your hands.
Yeah.
I do know that, and resell them.
Yeah.
1 Foot Flipper says VCRs keep getting worse because their average age keeps going up and belts keep failing. Easy repair, but it actually has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's good if you know how to go in there and fix those things. I don't. I've never performed a repair on a VCR in my life. Roman says most VCRs or combo units from garage sales don't work either way. So unless you pay $5 per unit, not even worth it. Unless you have a nice old lady and you ask her, does this thing work? And she says, yeah, it works. And then you probably will buy it because, I mean, I don't think I've been burned by any nice old ladies at a yard sale yet.
Aunt Thelma's.
Yeah.
That ding dong bell was oddly loud. Did you guys put the mic next to it?
No, it's just loud.
That thing, I'm telling you.
But I cannot hear it. If I have the door shut, I'm in the garage, I can't hear it. I'll faintly hear my dogs barking when someone's at the door, or I'll hear the motor of the FedEx truck because those things have the loudest motors. And I'm like, they're here. Otherwise, I have no idea if someone's at the door. 1 Foot Flipper says, if you learn to replace the belts and any bulged capacitors, you can normally fix them, but they're not valuable enough yet to make that worth it. Yeah, it's just not worth going in there unless you enjoy doing that kind of thing, tinkering. Yeah. And then John Doe says, all of mine work. I did that much testing, just haven't checked out to see if the buttons work. Simple Beautiful says, can another seller in your category buy from you just to leave you negative feedback? Just happens to you, J&J
has happened to you, J&J.
No, I haven't had that happen. But as far as, anytime someone buys it, they don't even have to pay for it.
Which is absolutely insane to me.
Yep. Now, eBay will remove that in most cases if they haven't paid for it. But they can go on there and leave you a negative. Let's see. Ed says, I get some sponsor requests. Some always is a cross-listing service, and most of them have been Temu, which is a big no. And we said no to Temu. I said no to them, and then I've said no to. They wanted to send me like an exercise bike. I mean, I guess they saw that I needed one, but I mean, you got requests for like they wanted to give me $5,000 to $10,000. Just multiple. It's just like no. If there's no fit for the audience, it's not something I'm interested in. Let's see what we got here. Tommy says, I still get sponsor requests weekly and haven't logged into the back end of YouTube in 1.5 years. Almost accepted one last week for free headphones, but not worth the time. Wow. And Sonny says, I guess he's saying hit the thumbs up. Yes. We have Hawkeye Pickers. Thumbnail for this live stream should be Jenna's eye roll on that last doorbell.
I mean, they couldn't have come at the same time. I even asked the guy, do you see the USPS lady out there? Yeah. And he's all, no, I haven't seen her.
We rarely see her too. She comes around whenever she wants to. Yeah. Thomas's feedback is like descriptions. Very few look. The biggest sellers that rank the highest have hundreds, if not thousands of negatives per year. Yeah. Joy P says, it's FedEx UPS time. John, you should know about that by now. Keep up the great work, John and Jenna. Yes.
Thank you, Jay.
Yes. 1 Foot Flipper says, negatives only seem to hurt me when the negative is sitting on top. I think there is, a little bump down. If we talk about how like certain things will give you a little boost, like end items sell similar, which, your items get a new item boost. I think that has a slight negative impact on your account health. But I think that's very short-lived and it's not enough to, really kill your sales. But I really think there's something to that, but not anywhere near what it used to be many, many years ago. Because that was like the thing that would people would freak out about. It wasn't, not finding an item and having to take a defect because they had to cancel a sale. it was, oh my God, I got a negative feedback again. And that was a thing that really bothered a lot of sellers. Richard says, I had someone claim in my feedback was tad late, but would buy from again. Item was sent Saturday morning and arrived. Wow. It happens. Duncan VR. And another thing with feedback, I don't like the feedback where people review the item. Okay. I didn't make this item. I didn't manufacture it. I didn't even recommend it to you. You bought it and I did my part, but yet you had something to say about the quality of the item. And I think eBay is asking people to review the item. And I think that's not what the feedback
that's annoying
process is. Duncan VR says, if eBay starts charging for loading picks again, I'm going to only load one pick. For some reason, I get a sale when I'm listening to this channel. Because you hit the like button.
That's right.
You hit the like button. Another thing, anybody notice the handy feature that's on the app where you might fall, like you have the app on, you might fall and almost kill yourself. And instead of offering to dial 911, it asks you, would you like to report a problem with the app? If you shake the phone or it's like, I could be half dead here. I could have had an item fall on me.
So does that mean that you almost fell?
No, but I just, because I think certain features, like if you have the Apple Watch on, right, and you fall, it offers a dial 911 for you. But if you have the phone in your hand and you're on the eBay app and you fall and maybe something falls on you or whatever, or just you move the phone around, it's like, oh my God, is there a problem with the app? You guys ever notice that? It's like,
I don't think.
See, shake to report a technical problem, send feedback, shake your device to report. What the hell is that?
Yeah, that you need to turn that off.
No, I understand, but I've never.
It's a phone setting.
I get it, but why even have it?
I don't know.
Maybe someone's thrown their phone at the wall too many times. There's a problem. Let us know. I just. If
that was the case, oh my God.
But I mean, if all the things that you're going to put in your app, you're going to put that just. I've been meaning to talk about that because every time I drop my phone or I move my phone, and it's
or you lose your phone.
Not going to lose my phone. They need that. That's another feature they need to add.
Well, there's this thing called Find My Phone.
Roman says, I can tell you one thing. If you sell crap that doesn't sell, it doesn't matter if you have a negative feedback or not. It'll not sell either way. Roman, that is the wisest thing you've ever said on this channel.
Yes. We need to put that on a shirt.
Thanks for contributing.
Put it as a quote on the wall.
Duncan says, 90% of my sales are international, but I manage my own shipping. No eBay international programs for me.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, my stuff is just too heavy. Can you imagine what eBay's charging for a 5 to 10 pound item or larger than that? No, they can make their own by the time they buy mine. Jimmy D, curious on your thoughts. With Ground Advantage a little cheaper, do you think we're going down in search when compared to a seller that made a decision only to ship priority mail? I think that it does have a very, very small bit in the equation when it comes to ranking your item because your competitor is getting that item to them possibly quicker. Now, a lot of it is where's your competitor at as compared to the person looking for your item. That all is put in there. If you're the next state over, and they're across the country, you're offering Ground Advantage, they're offering priority mail, it may not even make that big of a difference because eBay sees your item getting there either sooner or at the same time as the other person, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying that it's the service. I'm saying it's more about the actual arrival time and how long it takes for that potential item to get to your buyer that's looked at. John Doe says, I love that. I found eBay and I'm making enough to buy things I need and want, and especially happy that I might have found my nest egg as a reseller. There's money out there to be made.
Yep.
There's money out there to be made. I'm a living proof of it. Andy Reno says, finally made it. Andy from Indiana in the house.
Andy from Indiana.
How are you doing, John and Jenna? And FA family had to do some car shopping last week and missed live, thinking my Prius finally took its last scrap.
No. Did you end up buying a car? Did you get a new Prius? Our son has a brand new Prius.
Yeah, he has 2 of them now.
Well, he has an old one and he has a new, brand new.
I'm glad because he's not going to be, accused of drag racing or anything like that.
He never was a drag racer.
No, I know. John says, hi, Jenna and John. What is the one thing eBay can do for resellers to help them sell more items? And what is one thing sellers can do to get more sales? Well, what is the one thing eBay can do for resellers to help them sell more items is the one thing I've always wanted them to do, which they won't, is to communicate what better their expectations of us rather than try to trick us into, spending more money on our listings with high, outrageous promoted listing rates. But one thing that sellers can do to get more sales is start buying better stuff. Stop buying the things that you're sitting on right now. So if you have a store and you have a lot of things and you believe that these items have promise, but you're just not making sales, why would you go back out tomorrow for yard sale day and buy more of that? It's time to move on from that. There's times that I'll buy, like I'm sitting on a certain type of toilet seat. Let's just say it's a toilet seat, right? Because there are some that don't sell well, some that sell better than others. And it's like, wow, I get a really good deal on this toilet seat, but I'm sitting on 2 of them right now in my store. Why would I, even at this discounted rate, why would I want to buy 2 more of that? So I'm constantly thinking that way. So, you got to just start to gravitate away from the things that aren't working. That's the number one thing you need to do, in my opinion. But, hey, by all means, I'm just giving you my advice. I'm not telling you that's the only way. That's just my way that's been working for me. Eddie says, I just let eBay decide how much percentage promotions should be since clothing is clothing is cutthroat.
Yeah, it is.
But if you're selling clothing and you're not cross-listing, and this is not a plug for any cross-lister program. I'm not going to do that today. But if you're not putting your stuff on Poshmark at the very least, you're losing out, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, you should really be cross-listing clothing on every possible platform, simply because on eBay, it's just oversaturated and, like you said, cutthroat, and it could be be seen by more eyes on all these different other sites.
Richard said, buyer said in feedback was tad late, but would buy from again. Item was sent from PA. I think we talked about this on Saturday morning and arrived in Arizona over 2,300 miles Wednesday afternoon late. It depends on what date
they were told that it would be arrived.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're using a 2-day service and it took 4 days, then that would be late. It depends on the method you chose and when the buyer was told by eBay it's going to get there. Eddie Estrada says, I just sold an item and noticed they said they want it by Saturday. Didn't see that until after I shipped it. Ground Advantage isn't fast enough. They should have messaged me before they bought it. Yeah. And again, if they leave you, so this is the thing, they leave you a negative feedback saying, I told the seller I needed it by Saturday, okay, and they leave you a negative feedback. Well, eBay advertised a certain date range, okay? The buyer cannot ask for something that was never advertised as part of the sale, and part of the terms and conditions of the sale was it was going to arrive between this date and that date. They leave you a negative feedback because it got there past Saturday. I would be getting that thing removed. And, you don't have to call up and deal with anyone. Simply go to help and contact. Should be a little box of different options. One should be negative feedback removal tool. Click on that and it'll pop up any negative feedbacks you have. Click on the one and just simply make the case. Buyer cannot ask for something that was never offered in the sale, and Saturday delivery was not offered in the sale, yet they gave me negative feedback. Please remove it. And that should work most of the time. Tommy says, LOL, it's hilarious how people I have never heard of message me asking where I buy shoes. That person will never make it if they think it's how you find sources. Yeah, it's true. You just got to do your homework. And for me, it was 1.5 years of homework. And if this sourcing method goes away, I'm going to be doing more homework. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. I mean, you can't make a living in this business reselling if you can't source. Bottom line, you got to have stuff to sell.
You can't be messaging, Instagram people asking where they get their stuff, because that's just not the way to go.
Simple Beautiful says, can another seller in your category buy from you just to leave you negative feedback?
You read that.
But they keep posting
no,
it.
You're
Promise, because I'm down here. I know what time that I read that. Tommy says, any buyer can leave any feedback as stated last night when you ask some questions.
Huh?
That's what it says.
Leave any feedback as stated last night when you asked to speak. I'm lost. It must be within a conversation.
I think Roman took over your YouTube handle. Sorry. Minnie Duke says, changed my promoted listings from 10 down to 5%. No difference in sales. Sell-through rate increased. Impressions decreased. Happiness increases. Yes. So you just got to find that happy place. But if you're just avoiding promoted listings because you don't want to spend an extra 5% or whatever, you might be losing sales because of that. Let's get down to some of these. Roman says, 1 foot flipper. There are a bunch of resellers shopping at Goodwill, so sourcing there is useless unless you stay at the one store for hours waiting for new stuff to be brought out. But I've seen your bins, Roman. Your bins are like
nothing compared to ours.
It's crazy. Ours is crazy. I mean, you go next time you're out in Vegas, make a point to go out to the bins. Doesn't matter what time of day, when they open or before they close. I want you to go out there and see exactly what we have to deal with. IdeaPad says, why do you keep your AC at? I'm glad you said that, because then my fan shuts off after like 24 hours. 77.
It's set at 77.
That's right.
However, this entire summer, no matter how low I try to change it, it won't go down.
That's why we have a Nest thermostat. And you can program the thing.
He's the air conditioning patrol.
That's right. I don't have to patrol it anymore. We don't have to have fights.
We'll have fights. Last night I was so hot I could not sleep.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what you change it to. For whatever reason, in that room, it's going to stay hot.
Well, I was about ready to be on the couch because it was ridiculous.
But I'll show you here. It says we're away. That's weird. But nonetheless, just take my word for it. We have it set. 1 Foot Flipper says they had to start charging it on shipping because some people figured out they could promote 100% on a $1 item and have it show up everywhere and put at the price in the shipping. So yeah, there's a lot of people who are put off by the fact that, your promoted rates are calculated against the item, the sale of the item, the shipping you charge, and on the tax, right? But this is a correct statement. People were, back in the day, were doing $1 and $100 shipping, and eBay was only charging them a final value fee. There was no promoted listing back then. They were charging a final value fee off of that $1, and people were saving their final value fees by charging that outrageous shipping. But I think that model was leading to a lot. If I remember correctly, it was leading to a lot of negative feedback where people were saying they overcharged me on shipping. That was the wild, wild west for sure. Marcy says, all my photos are suddenly uploading on eBay as solid black boxes.
Uh-oh.
I've never seen that before, but I don't doubt that's happening to you.
Is she, all my photos are suddenly uploading on eBay. Are you listing on your phone?
I don't know. Zachariah says, I hate to admit it, but promoted listing works. I doubled the percentage I was promoting at, and my sales are more than pay for the added advertising cost to eBay. That's the cost to play. I'm happy to pay.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the mindset you really should have. I mean, look, you don't like it. I mean, who here likes to pay taxes? Nope. Who here likes to get that bill in the mail that you have a yearly registration in your car?
Nope.
Like, dang, this sucks. I hate it. Right? But if you want to drive on the road, you got to pay for your registration every year. It's just the cost of making it work. And I think some people are so hell-bent on not paying any more money than they have to that they're willing to cost themselves sales in the process.
Wait, go back up.
What's this, Tommy?
No.
What?
No one design right there.
There, I made the pup noise closer for
Nose.
Nose closer.
He was so cute.
Okay.
Just want to cuddle with him.
Okay. Guy Guru says, I sold some heavy metal tapes, death metal band, for like $80 last year. If I only had a constant source of those, I could retire. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's what makes it so valuable, because they're not easy to come by.
Yeah.
Flipping for change, remove the attachment. You are so right. Took me almost 3 years to figure out making something now is better than letting an item take up space for zero profit in hopes of making the most later. It's the unicorn we're waiting for. Waiting for the unicorn. There's buyers out there who's willing to pay for your item at full ask, but are they ever going to see your item? You know, they might buy it from someone else. You might see sold comps and say, someone bought it for that price, and that might be the only person willing to pay that amount. You know, you just never know. Take what you can. So instead of focusing on what the market is saying, after a while, you know, you want to use that as maybe a method to price the item initially, but after a while, start focusing on, well, I know I have it priced at 60. Maybe I should be willing to take 40 or 50 if I'm into it for 10, right? Always look at what you can get for it versus what you're into it for. Trying to get to some new people here. We have Heather Dawson. When I purchase stuff, I usually look at the reviews afterwards. Man, I've regretted it several times.
Yeah, I've done that. Although, you know, I try to do it beforehand, but
I do it I look at not only the person's feedback, I'm looking at the rating of the item. I'm looking on Amazon.
Mode.
Oh yeah. I don't want to have to return. I don't really return stuff very often. CM Retro Gaming says, I sent this guy a sealed audiobook for $65. He lived in Canada and his final total was $105.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And most people are buying those same audiobooks online, you know, like different services like Audible or whatever. Biscuit Butt says, I had a ground advantage not updating, and buyer messaged me, put in locate package request, and bam, an hour later updated, the next day delivered. Yeah, when you go and do those tracing on USPS, what's tracing really? You're not really, you go and you track it to find out where it is, but then you go in to trace the item through USPS.com, and they usually get someone on it at USPS, at least in my opinion. And I get phone calls from the actual post office that it was supposed to be delivered to, you know, telling me, you know, I wasn't able to find it, or we have it, it's back en route or whatever. Trying to catch up to you guys a little bit. Richard says, John, I'm in the 3 business day shipping category. They ordered Friday night. I sent Saturday morning, received Wednesday afternoon, left positive feedback. But if they said it was late, I would be, especially if you have 3 days handling. Well, actually not 3 days handling, but 3-day business shipping. So
he was still in the right.
Yeah, you should be disputing that if they left you negative.
Yeah.
Christine Moses says, your air conditioner said it's 77. I live in Wisconsin, and mine said it's 65. That's because those of you who live in those states where it gets to be like 10 degrees below zero in the winter, you've acclimated to cold. Mm-hmm. So if you come out here in the 100-degree weather, you're going to pretty much feel like you're going to die. When I go outside, yeah, it's not comfortable, 110 degrees, but I can adapt to it. I can adapt to it.
Okay. We have to put a limit on our air conditioning, because if we don't put a limit on it, our air conditioner will never turn off.
No.
And it will run and run and run and run all day, and break
this thing
quicker.
is old. This thing is old. When we first moved in here, we had a puddle that was outside of our front door. The AC, I guess there's a backup thing, a backup hosing, and I don't know anything about air conditioners, but it was draining all this water, this condensation from the AC unit. We had to have some guy come out here. He unplugged it all, right? And he went in and replaced the part in the AC unit. But this thing is like,
this thing so old.
Must be at least like 20 years old.
Yeah.
This AC
We
unit.
tried to get them to replace it, but.
Yeah, they just come out and do, you know, it is when you rent from somebody. But it's a bad market to buy. And when we moved here, we had intentions on looking into buying, but the market never got better, and it got only more difficult. And at first, when we moved here, we weren't even sure we wanted to stay in Vegas. You know, like you get here and you have to get used to the lifestyle, and you know, you don't know what to expect because the heat, the gambling,
the cold.
Yeah, you know, all these things, and you learn that the allure of Vegas isn't quite the same, and it's because there's a lot of cool things here in Vegas. It's worth staying if you can get through the heat and stuff. But by the time we figured all that out, we're not in the market to buy or anytime soon. So we're renting, and of course, when you rent, you're at someone else's mercy, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Jeff Zenick, the feature I would like eBay to have is something where I could take a photo of a book bow. I don't know. He hit the eject button.
Right
okay. Jeff Zennick says, the feature I'd like eBay to have is where I could take a photo of a book or a sports shirt or something, feed the photo into eBay, and eBay will pull up the listings of that item.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking like a Google Lens.
Kind
right?
of, but
so
he doesn't want to have to take the picture. He wants to feed it to it.
How do you feed a photo into eBay without taking a photo? So like Google Lens.
Maybe
I don't know what this thing is, so I'll put up the Google Lens app and I'll put in the crosshairs and I'll hit.
Maybe you don't have the physical item. You just want to find it somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think he's talking about like a Google Lens, and then boom, AI will populate a listing for you based on that and price and everything. I think, you know what, they'll be surprised in 10 years. That's how we list on eBay. We just snap a photo of it and it'll ask us, does it want us to create a listing with pricing and everything based on our business policies and all that. Don't be surprised about that. Richard says, that's just it. They did leave a positive feedback. I had to get that undeserved dig in. Yeah, but I just let it go. Positive feedbacks, maybe reply to it and say, we have no control over when it gets to you. Sorry, it didn't get to you when you expected it, but we shipped it out exactly the day that you expected us to ship it.
Yeah.
And then that's all you can say. No Designs is just an observation. That shelf behind Jenna that has a plaque and 2 keychains hanging off of it is uneven, it seems. Is that the reason for the drill and level?
No, earlier he was talking about why he wants to know why this drill is sitting here.
Oh, because I've been putting, like I put this stupid thing up, I changed the shelf.
With the camera.
Yeah.
He had to lower it.
I didn't even see you saw that.
He never put it away.
So here's the thing about Noah Design. He isn't here for the...
He's
not here for the reselling talk. He's here to analyze what's
I have to make sure that my nails are all painted so that he doesn't critique my nail polish because he sees it all.
And then Tommy says, LOL, everyone wants to do no work and get paid. Who doesn't? I mean, that would be
nice.
I mean, I guess you can be a security guard, right? They just sit and observe.
No, you want to know the best job? Guess the best job. Don't we say it every time we go to California?
What's that? Oh, it's the agriculture stop person that waves the traffic. They just stand, and sometimes they're not even there.
Nobody there.
Sometimes there's nobody there, but it's just like, okay, come on through. You might have like fruit flies, but come on in. And yeah, they never check nothing. That's the easiest job in the world to have. But let's see. I'm not seeing any really questions or anything, but we are over the 2-hour mark.
Oh my gosh, it's already 5:02.
We had a really good time, guys, and hopefully you guys did too. And I'm hoping that you guys have a great weekend, not only making sales, but get out there. For those of you who can find yard sales in your area, get out there and find some really good stuff. And, just know we keep talking about it, that eBay is going to continue to show us magic tricks every week through their glitches and problems. And while it's good to report these things, don't allow it to make you stop what you're doing. Continue to push forward, continue to navigate around these problems, and continue to make changes and be willing to adjust. That's the name of the game. But yet it's just yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys again to be with us here on Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And until then, have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a great one. Bye.